Okay. This is take two. All right. So we'll go ahead and minimize that. And here we are. So this is going to be, minimize that. This is take two on the OM System game, or OM Systems Mark 1. I shot the Angel City, and they played the Portland Thorns, I think. So I took the OM Systems OM1 Mark 2 and the 50 to 200 2.8 out to the event. And so I've shot this now 3 times, shot sports 3 times with this system. The first time I shot some high school football, and I was really pleased with the results, even when really bad lighting. Like, I was genuinely pleased. And so it surprised me the next time I shot this system, I went to a stadium that had incredible lighting, and the results were shit. But I realize now it was probably my autofocus settings. And I found an autofocus setting that, if you stick with me, I'll tell you was the secret sauce, if this turns out it worked, that I think fixed the issue. So what I'm going to do in this video or in the stream is this is the first time seeing these photos. I didn't even look at them in camera. I just check. Good. This is my first time seeing them and the results of the OM Systems Mark 1. This is going to be the entire process of what I would do to call them, to clean them up using something like Pure Raw, and then editing them and see if they're usable, and see if the OM1 is really something that can be used for sports. Now, that being said, I know it can. Because I know other people that do it, but they're few and far between. So anyways, here we go. This is my first time seeing these photos. Okay, this is my calling process. I'm going to make sure none of them are tagged right off the bat. Just a quick key command. Sometimes I would tag stuff in camera, but these ones I didn't. So here I go. I'm going to start going through them, and obviously too dark, but at the same time sharp. Okay, I'm just going to keep going. Took some. Again, these aren't actually the best sports photos. If I was shooting this to shoot the game, I'd be shooting different. These are much more just test shots. Something visually interesting. How does the quality look? How does the quality look? How does the image look? How do the colors look, and so on. Right off the bat, looking at this, I can tell it's really sharp. I can tell I got nice blur in the background. Really sharp shirt. This is actually a good photo. So I'm going to save this one, not because it's a great photo, but because it's really sharp. It's a clean photo. Nice earring. So tag that one. What do we got here? The greens look phenomenal on this. But again, this is when people are stationary. And so far, stationary, I've been really pleased with the camera. Like, the image quality is pretty disgusting in a good way. But yeah, it's motion that's a problem. So I'm going to tag that. Okay, starting to get some motion, some players running around. Here we go. You can kind of see him jumping here. I'm holding focus the entire time she's moving. That's usable. Okay, so again, I'm just going to grab that one. Keep going through. Ooh, that's actually kind of cool. I'm going to grab that one. Pleased. So her name's Melissa. She's fabulous. She's a great ref. I'm going to save that picture of her. My brother is actually a soccer ref, and so he knows some of these people, and so I've got to know some of them as well. And Melissa, I'm not sure you want that picture or not. I don't know. But shooting refs is actually a great way to kind of get to know the sport and get to know the community and get involved in the community. There's also a couple rugby refs I shoot fairly often that I like shooting. Just from an editorial standpoint, that's not bad. I got sharp skin. I got sharp hair on skin. I've got nice blur in the background. Not 2.8 blur of like a full frame equivalent, but usable. It's decent. Let's see how we do on a plane that's passing by. Solid. Blues look really nice too, actually. Wow, it's actually really good. Okay. I mean, you can't not love. So for perspective, I want to point this out. I am literally at one end of the field. I am down at the I don't know what the end of the field in soccer is called, but like I'm literally like behind the goal pretty much on one end, and this is the opposite end of the field. And it is a BMO stadium in Los Angeles. It's a really big stadium, and yeah, that looks like I can see people's faces. I can see the hat. I can see like texture in the flag. Like it's actually pretty rad. It's actually pretty incredible. Okay. Got cute people out there with the flag. Got some smoky stuff from the pyro. These are really sharp. I am really really impressed actually so far. Got some nice pink smoke, and then the refs coming out. I'm saving those because I know some of the refs and I want to make sure they get their photos. Okay. Oh yeah, Melissa's gonna like that one. So, yep. Cool. I want to say Melissa Beck. So if any of you are on Instagram or what have you, it's pretty good. Again, I'm at one end of the field, and that's the center line. I mean, it's not a great shot, obviously, but as far as the sharpness go and the quality, like that's kind of nice, actually. Yeah, away they go. Melissa's going to go running down. This was a tricky game from this perspective. So, like, if you see here in the light, half the stadium was in shadow and the other half was bright sun. And so I found myself, I stuck the ISO at like 400 or 800. I kind of shifted between those two. And then based upon where they were on the field, I was just using shutter speed. So like I would get down to 1/6400th of a second on the sunny side. And then on the shadow side, I'd drop it to like 1/1000 or something along those lines. But I got to tell you, even dark like this, because I'm still shooting at 1/6400th over a second and 2.8, and she's in shadow. I'm fairly pleased. That's actually kind of a cool shot. I wonder if I can do something with that one. I don't know. All right. There she is checking the goal. Great. I mean, you can kind of see like it's not the blown out background of like a 2.8 full frame, but it's fine. Like she's in focus and these people aren't. Signs look good. All right. Just kind of cruise through these a little bit faster clip. Look at all those people taking photos of the huddle. Dude, these images are sharp. Wow. Okay, considerably more impressed. Where's my focus spot on this? Who's in focus in this shot? I don't know. That's a concern. All right, here we go. We got running. Got like a nice little knee thing going on. That's pretty sharp. Like that. Okay, again, so I'm just kind of going through. You see the difference though? You can see like she's in shadow, and so like the second she comes in shadow, I have to change my shutter speed. Yeah, it's kind of a trip. I guess some people would do auto ISO. I hate that. Like I'd much rather have control over that and adjust for shutter speed. But again, here, even in the background, we look at like Riley Tiernan, and it's not bad. Let's keep going. Her face is in focus. Yep, I'd use that. Maybe a little overexposed, but that's not bad. She looks really good, and she's in motion, and she's kicking. Every single one of those shots are in focus. Fuck yes. Okay. OM System, man, doing it. And don't forget to stay to the end where I tell you the setting that I fucked up on last time, so you know why these are sharp and my other ones sucked. Oh, they were bad. I couldn't use any of them. I literally couldn't use any of them. Melissa over there, being the incredible line official that she is. Again, she's moving. I've got sharp. Okay, here we go. This is going to be like a strong kick. She's in focus. She's in focus. She's in focus. I wish I didn't cut her foot off. That would have been cool. She's in focus. She's in focus. Using that one for sure. She's in focus. She's in focus. Fuck yes, dude. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Again, the ball's in motion. There's running. I got sharpness all the way around. I'm actually happy for a different reason. So at the last game, before the game, someone kicked the ball directly into the camera. The camera hit my face. It didn't break my nose, but there's definitely a piece of cartilage here that's now floating around that didn't used to be. So I was scared, like maybe they hurt the camera. But now looking at these photos, because this was the first time I've used it since then, everything's sharp. Stuff is in okay, let's check this one. Focus, 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 focus. It went out of focus. Where's the new focus point? I don't know. Nothing's in focus in this photo. So I don't know if it just found a different spot. See, that would have been a great photo had it been in focus, but it looks like, okay, now her eye is back in focus again. So maybe it was trying to do like an eye focus and we lost it. Either way, that's sharp. Okay, dude, I got sharp images in there with them talking. Fantastic. Okay, we got Riley coming up on the ball, and yep, I can use that. I can use that. Oh, I could use that one all day long. That's actually pretty good. I got watermark coming up in here. I've got balls in focus, eyes in focus, colors in focus, hair. That's just solid. Background blur isn't as blown out as I'd like it to be. Again. So this is ISO 400, aperture 2.8, shutter 1/1250. The focal length 64. So what does that equate to in a full frame equivalent? Like 128? Yeah, because it's double. It's 128 millimeters. That's actually, it's pretty good. Yep. So what I'm going to do is I'm just actually, since a lot of these are in focus and sharp, to save the effort of like going through every single one, I'm just kind of going to go through some different sections of the game, tag some random ones, and then walk you through my next process of cleaning them up and editing them. But yeah, like look, this is a 400 millimeter, essentially equivalent full frame. It's the 200 millimeter on the Micro Four Thirds sensor. It's not bad. I'm not gonna lie, that's not bad. Oh, let me see. At some point in time, I actually slapped on the 1.4 converter as well to get me up to that 560 range. Again, she's in focus. I got nice grass going on. I got balls spot on in focus. Like, okay, OM system. I see you. Okay. Yeah, again, so it's just kind of scrolling through these. I got 3,000. I'm at like 900 so far. I'm not going to do them all. From a color perspective, that's really good. I like the green. I like the pink. I like the black. This red in the background is killing me, so I probably won't use that or I'll crop it. But all right, what's going on here in the jog? I was going for her face. I'm getting the person behind her in focus. This one is at okay, so 280. So this is actually with the 1.4 on. So this is at 560 equivalent. Oh, come on. Did I really cut her feet? I really cut her feet. Shit. I really cut her feet. That sucks. Oh, well. Again, so this is at 560 f4 shutter 1/5000. Yeah, it's a little dark in her eye. I probably could have lightened it up a little bit. If I look over here at the histogram, I'm definitely on the lower side, but I'm not clipping the lower or high. So I should actually have some wiggle room to adjust color in this. Though, fun fact, for whatever reason, it does look like she has 4 arms. So, there's that. All right, still going. Again, this one's at 70 mil, so this is 140 equivalent. That's razor sharp. Nice blur in the background, but it's still intelligible. It's still intelligible, but again, I'm stopped down to f4. So, yeah, again, shooting in those shadows is such a trip. That base is just razor sharp, dude. I love it. Oh, wow, I love it. All right, again, just kind of zooming through. I'm at 1,000. I have 3,000 total. Oh, look at you, Melissa. You're looking good there. Take that. Opposite side of the field. Oh, wait, isn't that where the well, maybe. I don't know. Okay, good. These are, okay. Oh, what do I got here? A little overexposed. I got a little bit of clipping on the overexposed. I'm going to see what I can do with that one in post, but that's actually pretty rad. 240 millimeter full frame equivalent. That would have been cool with that one. I'm dropping focus a little bit there, but that actually doesn't surprise me. I would have dropped focus on that one in the Sony too. There's 3 heads there that are all competing at, you know, the other end of the field, so that's gonna happen. Yes, you're sharper there, Riley. That is an awesome shot of you. Okay, going through. Good shots on goal. Generally sharp. Looks like I'm trading focus between her and this guy here in the background. I don't love that as much, but okay. Am I holding focus through that? Well, I got Melissa in focus on that one. I think that was actually on purpose. Okay, again, so here, she at the other end of the field. Close to 200, so 400 millimeter. It's sharp. I mean, the sun is baking on them. Like, the sun is like, it's bright and it's shining right on them. What do I do? No, it's just a pretty picture of green. Okay, cool. Gonna keep going. Okay, here we go. Love this. It's a good run. You can just see how dramatic the shadow is. We're like, this side, you got the sun baking hard. On this side, it's completely in shadow. Like, that's a rough game to shoot. But even then, just looking at dynamic stops here, it's not bad. It's usable. It's 100% usable. Any of these have potential? Open your eyes a little more. That would have been cool. Oh well. All right, going through some more. Again, OM Systems OM1 Mark II, 50 to 200 millimeter f2.8 lens, which gives you a full frame equivalent of 100 to 400 millimeters, and 100 to 400 millimeters as far as light's concerned, closer to a 5.6, which, I mean, at that point in time, grab a full frame 100 to 400, you know, f4.5 to f5, f something like that. But just the size, and I think that's really the selling point to me, is this lens and body setup way less than my Sony 100 to 400 millimeter. I don't know if that's exactly true, but it certainly feels like it's true. It's considerably less than like an A9 and a 100 to 400. Okay, they scored a goal. Again, I'm getting sharp images. This is at 560 millimeter full frame equivalent on a hot day. Heat distortion a little bit, but not bad. Why am I not pulling focus on this one? Where's my focus point on this? I have no idea where my focus point is on this. That's not great, but that's literally the other end of the field on a hot day in the sun. So I'm not. You just see the sweat like dripping from her, which is a great, it's a horrible photo, but it's a great sign of the camera, man. It is picking up stuff excellently. Yep, solid ball color. The colors are phenomenal. I'm loving the way this is handling the pinks. I've been really impressed about how the OM system handles reds. I don't think I've ever got a red color off of one of my Sony cameras that looks anything like the reds I get off this, and the greens too. Like this seems to thrive on red and greens. Obviously, I'm way underexposed here. I'm clipping off the bottom, but its colors are rich. Like it's the only way I know how to describe them. It's just rich colors. Anything stand out? Some overexposed stuff. She's plenty sharp. Another kind of header mashup. Again at 560. I mean, that's pretty insane, actually. From a camera, that lens and camera, I think weigh like 4 pounds total, maybe 5 pounds total. Like, that's insane. Dude, I am well pleased. Let me go through if there's any others I want to tag real fast. By the way, if you're not using Photo Mechanic, you're probably wondering how I'm scrolling through all these raw images so quickly. You need to be on Photo Mechanic. Like, there's no reason not to be. Wow, dude. Wow. I am very, very impressed. Very impressed. All right, let's see. Still going. Yep. Again, you see that issue? Let's see if did I change the shutter? Did I change? Because right here in the bright, I got shutter 1/5000, 1/3200. Did I adjust the shutter speed at all when they got in the shadow? No, because they're moving too damn fast. Now I'm down to 2000, 1/2000. Again, didn't grab her as well as I'd like it to, but dude, yeah, her face was sharp. That is in focus. Again, sharp, 560, other end of the field. Fuck yes. Sorry, pardon my American. Yeah, as you can see, I'm just kind of just shooting everything because I really wanted a lot of shots. Dude, I am holding focus on her. Maybe like 2 out of 20 are out of focus. The rest are spot on. Yeah, that's usable. That's all usable. Yeah. Dude, that is really sharp. I mean, look at this. Like, this is like several different colors of black in a shadow with the textures and everything else. This camera is nailing it. And at 250 millimeter equivalent, 126 millimeter on the micro 4/3. Wow. Focus mode, continuous autofocus. It was an auto white balance. No exposure compensation. No sharpening. Wow. Again, you got sharp images. Yep. Okay. So, sorry, let me just finish this. There's 2,900 photos, I think. So let me just kind of grab a couple more. And then I'll walk you through my editing process. Typically, I'd be grabbing more. I'm hitting some tags along the way. But overall, I'm so pleased with this image quality, how it's turned out. Like that's actually literally the whole reason I went to shoot this game was to see the image quality on this camera. Yeah, dude, that's 250 millimeters. And to make sure I didn't spend $3,600 on a lens and $2,000 on a camera that I'm never going to use. I'm 100% going to use this. For professional sports, I'm still going to stick with my Sony A1 and my A9. But this is perfectly acceptable for club sports when I'm traveling overseas and I need a light bag. I can't wait to take this out in nature. I found out my new office is actually right by a zoo, so I'm going to start doing some shots of animals for image tests in the future. Again, I understand that some of these shots are actually really good and I should be keeping them, and I'm not. Where's my focus? But again, this is just for kind of a demoing purposes, and so that people can see the shots that come off the OM1 OM Systems in a professional sporting environment. So fun fact, in case you're wondering what cameras you can or can't use, There was this girl next to me who was shooting on like a 1975 Nikon film. Like I was watching her load film and I was like, you props, that's rad, that's awesome, don't get me wrong, but also, you know, I guess that's one way to make sure you don't have 1,000 pictures to call through, like good ref shots. Good enough. Good. Again, we're here at 400 millimeters equivalent, ISO 640 and f4, shutter speed 1/5000. You can see that sun. Like that sun is just baking her. But I mean, if you look here on the legs, you look on the grass, you look at the ball, you look at the detail in the grass, and it is razor sharp. Oh, I love it. I'm so pleased. And don't worry, keep hanging out, and I'll tell you the settings I changed to make sure everything was good. Oh, I see you. Yeah, I see you too. Okay. All right, going through. Good. Now, don't tell anyone, but I only stayed for the first half. It was kind of hot. It was 80 degrees outside, and that sun was baking on me, and I was gonna have to change sides of the field, and I had already gotten the shots I wanted, so I only stayed for the first half of the game. Excuse me. Sorry. Yeah, this is all day long. That's a usable shot. Catch the ball. Good. Almost here at the end. Sorry, copyright. Hey, hello to Mars over there. Yep. That wasn't just a guess. I knew she was there. It was kind of nice seeing some of my rugby people at the soccer match again. Okay, I apologize to this player for using her as an example. There is kind of a rule in sports photography that you should follow, and if you're not following it, you need to follow it. You'll notice here, her legs look nice and smooth, but if you go back, you'll notice some shots where it's got some of this stuff going on. No one likes seeing that on themselves. So I don't know, maybe that's bad, or maybe that's like body shaming or something like that. It's fine, it's beautiful. She's obviously an incredible fucking athlete. It's just, if you have an option to use a shot that doesn't have that going on, use that shot. You know, use your aesthetic, and then if you're gonna post it somewhere or sell it somewhere, or publish it somewhere, just, you know, you want to make sure that the athlete looks as good as possible. Typically that only happens when someone jams their foot down in the grass, and as long as you're shooting in a burst, you have other shots where that doesn't exist, and use one of those instead. And that's it. So those are the photos I decided to keep. So I'm going to escape out of there. I'm just going to grab my tagged photos. Nice. I've got like 84. That is a perfectly acceptable number to work with. I'm going to grab those, and I'm going to export those out to my desktop, to AC Keep, and open and copy. Okay, cool. Done with Photo Mechanic. All right. Now I am going to open up Pure Raw. And I'm going to come over here to AC Keep. I'm going to drag these photos in. And then I'm going to find one as an example to see if there's any sort of cleanup I need doing. There's a little bit of noise. So I'm going to go ahead and let's go ahead and select them all. Let's get process. Yeah, Deep Prime 3 is fine. Let's try 30 on the luminance. Force details, lens sharpness correcting. Now, something that someone told me that I realized, so Pure Raw typically has your camera body and lens combination, and so it knows how to apply like the corrections and things like that. It doesn't have the OM1 Mark II with the 50 to 200 lens as of yet. So I'm not really going to benefit from some of the lens sharpness and the vignetting, but still denoising a bit. And then I'm going to output those to folder, browse, desktop, AC Pure Raw, and apply, and process. Okay, so those are going through and processing. That's going to take a little while, but there, you process one at a time or whatever. So I'm going to open up Lightroom. I'm just going to use the desktop version of Lightroom. And you can see I've already got some images that are in there now. So I'll be able to start working with these right away. So I come over here to the Pure Raw, open the photo. Yeah. Now, I think last time I showed you, I have a preset I use kind of initially to kind of sharpen things up that I've created. And you can kind of see it like before, after. Just adds some richness, adds some contrast, sharpens up the details on the players, makes the colors a little bit more palatable, increases the saturation slightly. Again, when I go in there, that is a perfectly acceptable photo. Very pleased. All right, let's go back to the grid view. Oh, this one actually is kind of fun. How I'd edit this one. Again, I applied my Sharper Sports preset, which just brings things to life. In my opinion, it kind of, okay, I love Sony. And apparently I'm really digging OM Systems. But none of them have Canon color, which one could argue I don't want Canon color baked into my shots in the first place, which I do argue. I like the clinical nature of the Sony photos because it lets me do so much with them after the fact. But when I go to publication or something like that, if I'm shooting for a media organization, they need photos out of the camera that look like this. And so that's kind of why I developed this preset. I have other ones. I have like the FroPack ones, and those are cool. Havana. This Havana one's just, I'm not using this for the sports photo, but as far as photos go, that's a Havana one. I forget what it was or where it came from, but it was pretty rad. The Lux Sports is actually not bad. I'm not a big preset person. That's why I just kind of developed mine. I put my settings in there as far as sharpening up and getting the colors the way I want to. Now, typically what I would do in this situation, like let's suppose I didn't like the greens. I would do something like a point color, and I come over here and I grab the point color. And then what I typically do when I'm fixing greens is I make them more green and less yellow. But I mean, the colors were already good on this one, so this is obviously exaggerated. But that's what I would typically do to modify, is I adjust the greens and the other colors. This one's an interesting shot to me. I'm just going to kind of crop it in. Let's put it in the rule of thirds. If I was going to do something cool in here, where there is no sun, she's completely in shadow, but I just feel like there's a little bit of sun coming over here. So I'm going to add a little radial gradient here. I'm going to stretch that shit out, and then I'm going to put it over here by the light source. I'm going to bring up the exposure just a touch on that. Gives her a little bit more dimension, a little more light. I'm going to come down here. Let's increase the... let's get out of there, back to the regular edit panel. Let's add just a little bit more vignette. Yeah, I mean, if I wanted to get a little more moody, I could. I'd pull like a linear gradient here. I would remove her from that gradient. So that, and then I would kind of drop exposure a little bit there. Same thing from above. Typically, if I do a bottom, I'll do an above, and then same thing, remove her from the photo and pull the exposure down in there. A little dark everywhere else, so let me go back here to the edit panel, and then let me just bump the exposure a little bit as a whole. Yeah, so that's what I would do on that one. You kind of see an embellished light off the source here to kind of grab her. Everything else looks good, generally in frame, generally shot. Crop that up, make sure my lines are level. Yeah, it's a cool shot. I'd use that one for sure. Hey, it's a good photo of Melissa. I'm not going to edit those ones are, oh, thanks. I'm already finished editing, the denoising those. Back to the grid. This one was interesting. It's actually a cool photo, and I was wondering if I could save it. And kind of, I mean, this is kind of a Art Nouveau kind of thing, but I love playing with light. Like I love like introducing light from a direction. I just think that makes photos look so much better. Let me get out of there. Let's bring up the overall exposure just a touch more. I mean, it's a usable photo. Like I'm not going to. It's not great. It's not like whatever, but that is a usable photo from that, which also says a lot about the information that OM system camera is picking up even in the dark. So it's pretty rad. All right, let's come here to more of this traditional sports photo. Okay, so this classic sports photo, classic punch. Cool. Let me go ahead and stick my preset on there. Let me actually copy it from somewhere else. Makes it a little bit quicker. Where did that photo go? Did I go past it? Nope. Come on, it was Riley. There it is. Good. Come on. Apply my preset. Sharper Sports. Oof. No, Sharper Sports. Not great on that one. So let's try to back it down a little bit. Hyper exposed. No thanks. Still, I like it's not bad. Okay. Good. I'll crop in on that one. I typically find a horizontal line, keep it level. It's not bad. Let's get in tighter on them. Good. Let's get tighter in on them. Let's put them in thirds. Yeah, I could use that. That is a usable photo off the OM System Mark 1. Come over here, back to my edit. I'm going to let's crease the vignette. Let's bring down the clarity a touch, kind of smooth them out a little bit. Yep, a little too much brightness over here. Not a big fan of that, so I'm actually going to stick a gradient in over here, kind of bring that down a touch. Okay, come back here to the masks. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Back here to the edit window. Yep, back to the masks. Yep, let's bring that exposure down just a touch more. Good. Yeah, that's a usable photo. I'm not going to keep going because test successful. OM Systems Mark 1 for the win. Okay, the setting. I had problems with the autofocus before, where it seems like every shot was out of focus. I changed two things. One, I went to SH2, which maintains every single shot is in focus. I think I was using SH1 before, and I was using the ProCap setting because pre-capture, the ProCapture or whatever they call it, pre-capture on Sony, I think it's a must. I think you just get shots that you otherwise wouldn't get, and so I used that. Now, where my problem is I tend to use a spot area to focus, so that way I can target in on one player. And what I noticed is there was a setting where you're supposed to continually focus on that one spot. But the problem is if the spot didn't move, like anytime they got outside that, or basically in that zone, so like it was like a small zone. And anytime something got outside that small zone, it stopped trying to focus on them. So by updating that setting, so that it maintains focus in a larger area, that actually solved the problem. Like I tend to use like extra small. On Sony, I'll use like the extra small point, and that'll lock onto someone and it'll stay with someone, and then that's it. And autofocus on Sony is insane. So that's just the name of the game. They have really good. Oops. Hello. Sorry about that. They have really good autofocus. There's no point in trying to say the OM Systems autofocus is comparable. It's not. The OM system wanted me to keep a larger area. It can still spot focus on a person, but it wants you in that larger area. Where else can I check for focus points to maintain that? And so that was a setting I had disabled before that I turned on, and that's how I was able to get these much sharper, better sports photos out of there. Again, completely usable. Are they as good as my A1 II or my A9 with a 400 millimeter f2.8? No, they're not. When it comes to pure quality, this isn't. It's not on par. It's not. It's good. It's good enough. It's good enough with the trade-off of flexibility. I think if I go camping, I go hiking, which yes, I do. That's a thing. I'm not taking my big Sonys. They're way too much. Like, I honestly don't even like carrying them from the car into the stadium when I have parking right next to the stadium. It's too heavy. But this backpack I had on that had the OM1 Mark II, the 50-200 in it. Again, I didn't even bring a second lens because the 100-400 equivalent, or the 50-200 on the Micro Four Thirds, was just so useful. Like, why would you? So, I'm sticking with the system, not as my primary. Again, if you ever see me shooting professional sports again, you'll see me with. If you ever see me shooting professional sports in the States, you'll see me shooting with my A1, my A9, and various lenses. If you see me shooting club sports, local teams, things like that, maybe even like high school stuff, I'll be using this because it's just that much lighter and flexible. There you go. OM Systems OM Systems OM1 Mark II is a win. The 50-200 is a win. I am so glad I bought them because I gotta admit, I was a little sketchy. I was a little scared. Today I was actually scared before I opened this. I was like, oh God, did I spend $6,000 on a camera setup I shouldn't have? Now I am completely satisfied with this again. And especially, again, traveling overseas, which I do a fair amount. I'll be bringing this overseas as well. So, good job. OM1 Mark II. I think it's back in my I like it category. Thanks so much, sir, for following along. Let me go ahead and end this stream, and we'll see you on the pitch.